So this video is going to be about a certain way of playing arpeggios. I think of it as a broken arpeggio. I don't know if that's the technical terminology for it, but the idea is that you're going to take a chord, so let's say a G chord, and you have the root, the third, and the fifth. And we're going to play the 3 and the 5 together and the 1 together and alternate that pattern. So it's going to go. And it's a very simple way, especially once you get used to playing like that, to take a simple chord progression and make it sound a little bit better. So I've got a couple of songs that we can do this with. Feel free to take screenshots if this will help you. So this is the chord progression for Hall of Fame by the script, which goes G minor, E flat major, B flat major, F. This is the chord progression for the verse of I Knew You Were Trouble by Taylor Swift, or Someone Like You by Adele. That arpeggio is played a little bit differently, but you'll get the idea of how these chords work. And this type of progression, like a 1, 5, 6, 4, has been used in like a million songs, which brings me to our last song, which is called the 4-chord song, which is by a band called Axis of Awesome. I think they're from New Zealand. But check that out on YouTube. It's really cool. It shows you how many different songs are using the same progression. That one happens to be in the key of E. So we have the chord progression E, B major, C sharp minor, and A major. And as you'll see, I'm using inversions of all of these because it doesn't make sense to jump your hands all over the place if you know how to use inversions. So feel free to screenshot these little maps here if that'll help you. But the idea that we want to learn is how to take a chord progression and use this trick to make our accompaniments a little bit more musical. So I'm going to start with the chord progression for Someone Like You in Trouble. It's the verse of both of those songs. So we're going G major, D major, E minor, C major. So on the G, we're going to alternate these two, B and D and then G. Go into that D in an inversion. It's always going to be the thumb against the fingers. Go into the D major. To the E minor. If you hit the sustain pedal at the beginning of each song, at the beginning of each chord, it'll sound pretty to keep those notes sustaining. Next up, we're going to run it on Hall of Fame, G minor, E flat major, B flat major, F major. So I'm going to keep the common tones from each chord. So the G and the B flat from the G minor are going to remain. I'm just going to switch here. So that B flat and D is going to go to B flat and E flat. Then go back to the B flat and the D for the B flat major chord, and then just go down to the F and A and C. So we're going to keep the voice leading very smooth, move as little as possible. So put the left hand in. Go quicker changes. This trick will work any tempo. And last up, I'm going to just demonstrate 4-chord song because that's a nice long song that you can play along with. So if you wanted to take this idea and have a nice long song to play along with, it's kind of fun. It goes through a lot of different pop songs. So it will also show you a lot of songs that you could use this idea with, and maybe you'll find some other songs in there you like. If you look it up on YouTube, Axis of Awesome 4-chord song. So we're going to be going from E major to B, C sharp minor, A. In that song, it's actually going to change the durations of the chords. So sometimes it'll be like 2 beats, sometimes it'll be a measure. So they'll go longer at certain times. So this is a little idea that you can use. It'll work on any kind of chord progression that you want to use. I mean, you could do this when you're practicing your cadences. Circle of fifths. You do it minor. It works in any inversions. So, you know, you can play the same chord progression. So there's a lot that you can do with this one basic idea. And it's a nice tool to have at your disposal to be able to make your accompaniment sound better.